Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to build the Mark III version of my tiny little iron farm. Now the difference between this farm and the previous versions is that this farm allows you to put a zombie in it in a minecart, which is going to make it so much more easy to get a zombie in there. In the past, getting a zombie in there was really difficult, but now we can do it in a minecart. It's going to make it that much easier. Now, before we get started, I want to point out that this is a Java build. It only works in Java 1.16.3, 1.16.4. I've tested it in both and it works fine. It will not work in Bedrock. It won't work on console. You can't modify this to work on Bedrock or console. These spawning mechanics are completely different. Okay, so please don't ask in the comments if it works in Bedrock because it won't. To build the farm, you're going to need an area that is 4 wide by 7 deep. So it's a tiny little farm. You're also going to need everything that's in this chest, so pause the video if you need to. So now let's crack on and build it. So now you've got somewhere to build it. You want to start by putting down a base, and you need to put down a base of solid blocks. And your farm has to be built at least 1 block off the ground, off the floor. If it's not, when the villagers jump out of their beds, they could jump outside of the farm, and if they jump outside, the farm is going to break. So it needs to be on a base, on a platform. So if you start by putting down some blocks like this, now bang in the middle, you want to stick down a couple of jack-o'-lanterns. This can be glowstone or sea lanterns if you've got them, but jack-o'-lanterns are going to do just as well. This is really to get light inside the farm. If there's no light inside here, you'll get a little bit of light off of the lava later on, but these are spawning spacers. So if you don't have enough light in there, if the light level is too low, but if you go away and come back, there could be a zombie in there, and if there's a zombie in there, then all your villagers are going to be zombie villagers or dead, depending on the difficulty that you're playing on. So make sure you put a bit of light in there. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now you need to decide which side you want your zombie to be in. Your zombie's either going to be at one end or the other. It's entirely up to you. It makes no difference. I'm going to have the zombie at this end. That's where my zombie is going to go. Okay? So you want to put a solid block just there, next to it. Okay? That is going to be the villager's safe block. When the villagers are standing here, they won't be able to see the zombie and they'll feel safe and they'll get into bed. If you don't have a safe spot here, the villagers will never get into bed. The farm won't work. Okay, so that's key to this. But my zombie is going to go just there. Now you want to take out your beds, and you want to put a bed facing that way, and then go down to the back, the other end, and you want 2 beds facing that way. It's important that they're facing that way. The heads of the beds have to be in the middle. When the villager jumps out of bed, it's got to jump here. As I said, if you don't have this 1 level up, the villager will jump out of bed and he'll land here, and it'll break your farm. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now continuing with your solid blocks, you want to put a block there, and then run a line of blocks all the way down the side of the farm, and then all the way up the other side. Like this. We are going to pop one of these out later, or a couple of these out later to get the villagers in, but at the moment you may as well just put them in. So now you've got that. Now you want to put blocks just there. Again, that is to stop the zombie being able to see the villagers when they're stood in that corner. So you want a block there, a couple of blocks there like that, and we're going to put some glass in here. I'm going to put some glass in here so I can see into the farm. You can use solid blocks if you want to, but I like being able to see, and just in case anything's gone wrong in there. And then you want to whip out your solid blocks again and just finish it off down the bottom and do the same on the other side. So a couple of solid blocks, 2 bits of glass, and then a couple of bits of solid, a couple of solid blocks there like that. So now you've got that. Now you want to get yourself a trapdoor. Can be any kind of trapdoor apart from the iron ones, because they need to be powered for you to open them. So any wooden trapdoor will do, and you'll need a wooden trapdoor there and open it. Okay, and then you'll want a wooden trapdoor there and open it. That gives us a little bit of separation between where the zombie is going to be sitting and where the villagers are going to be standing. That little bit of room there Those 2 trapdoors will prevent the zombie from being able to hit the villager. Okay, without those, there's a chance that the zombie will be able to hit the villagers. If he can do that, it's going to turn them in or kill them. It's going to turn them into zombie villagers or kill them. Okay, so make sure you've got those 2 trapdoors there like that. Now you need to take out a slab. This can be any kind of slab. I'm using prismarine so we can see it, but any slab will do. You need to put a slab there. If we don't put a slab there, the villager in this bed will jump out of bed and he will land here. It will land right next to your zombie, okay? And that will break your farm. So make sure you put the top slab just there. Again, it can be any slab, doesn't have to be prismarine. Using prismarine just so we can see it, but you do need a slab, very important. That's why I'm banging on about it. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now you want to take out a couple of chests, and you'll need to put a chest there and a chest there, like that. So it's a double chest. And then whip out your hoppers, and you'll need to crouch and put a couple of hoppers facing into that chest. Go around the other side, crouching again, put a couple of hoppers facing into those hoppers. Okay, make sure the nozzle is facing into those hoppers. And then you want to continue to crouch, put a couple of hoppers facing that way. Okay, so that the nozzle's facing into those hoppers, and the same on the other side. Like that. So now anything that lands on these hoppers is going to make its way into that chest. And the reason for using so many hoppers is that when the golem is killed by the lava, the drops won't fall straight down. They could fall off to the side. And if we have solid blocks here and the iron falls onto that solid block, it's just going to stack up and you'll lose drops. It'll be very inefficient. And that's why we use so many hoppers. But in a couple of days or so, you'll have enough iron to replenish any iron you've used for the hoppers. This is really not going to be a problem. But you do need them. If you don't have them, you will lose drops. Now you want to take out your solid blocks again, and you want to fill the roof in, the rest of this, with solid blocks. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now you need to jump up on top of your farm, and you need to get out your cobblestone wall, and you need to put a wall around the top of the farm. You might have to crouch going over the hoppers, but you'll need a wall all the way around like this. And then at the back, above the hoppers, you'll need to increase the height of that wall by 1 more block. And then you need to extend the wall 2 blocks further down to the front. So 1 and then 2, 1 and 2. Okay? Now take out your sign. And you want to put a sign just there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 just there. This is where your lava is going to go, and these signs are going to hold the lava in. Now, if you want to use fences around the top, you can, but make sure you use wood that you've got from the nether, the warp forest or the crimson forest wood. If you don't, normal wood will burn. Normal fences will burn when we put the lava in. And it's going to break your farm. So you're safest using a stone wall, stone variant wall. But if you want to get away with using wood, as I say, you can do, but make sure it's wood from the nether. Now take out your buckets of lava, and you want to put buckets of lava there and there. And now you're going to want to put some water on here. Don't put water against the wall, otherwise you'll waterlog the wall. The water's going to flow out. There are going to be tears, so don't waterlog your wall. Okay, you'll need to put it on that block there and that one there, like that. Now when the golem spawns just here, he's going to flow down and he's going to hit the lava, and all the drops are going to fall down onto the hopper. So now you should have something that looks like that. So now we've got to the stage where we need to get villagers and the zombie inside the farm. But before we do that, we need to spawn proof the outside of the farm. If we don't, when the villagers call for a golem, he could spawn outside the farm. We want him to spawn here. We don't want him to spawn outside. If he spawns outside the farm is going to break because the villagers will stop calling for more golems. It's important that he spawns up here. So in order to do that, we need to spawn proof around the outside of the farm out to 7 blocks. Okay, so 7 blocks away from the farm in every direction. We need to spawn proof. Now I'm going to do this using carpet, but you can do it using path blocks or glass or leaves, string, buttons, anything that is going to stop the golem from spawning on these blocks. And all of the blocks have to be spawn proofed. If you do all of them but leave one, even though the hitbox of the golem is bigger than 1 block, it can still spawn on 1 block, okay? So it's important that all of the area around is spawn proofed. So now we've done that, we need to get the villagers into the farm. And it's relatively straightforward to do. You need to get 3 villagers over in the area. Get them over here in boats or mine carts or something like that. But we need 3 villagers over here. So there you go. 3 happy little villagers. Now, to get them inside the farm, we need to break those 2 blocks like that. And then we need to wait for it to get dark. Hello, fellas. And once it gets dark, they're going to get into the farm and jump into bed. They might need a bit of help. Bless them. Look at you. Stop it. There you go. Crikey, that was harder than it should have been. And then once they're in, just block up the wall again so they can't get out. And that's it. They're as happy as Larry in there. Now we're going to need to get the zombie in there in a minecart. So by now you should have got yourself a zombie in a minecart. Just entice one. Put a minecart down on powered rails. Entice a zombie to walk past it. The minecart's going to pick him up. You've got him in the minecart. I'm going to do that just here. So if I put down some powered rails, do that. And get myself a powered rail working, and then put a zombie there. Get my zombie in the minecart, and then you want to extend these rails up like that. So now I'm going to power that rail. We need the zombie sitting on that block there. Okay. And then you want to quickly spawn proof the area again, because almost straight away your farm should start working. And you don't want that zombie, that golem spawning out here, or it will try to kill your zombie. So now you should have something like that. Now those guys are terrified, bless them. But when they stand on the block next to the trapdoor, they'll feel safe enough to try to get into bed. And they need to get into bed at least once every 20 minutes. There you go. But as soon as they jump into bed, oh my god, there's a zombie! They jump out of the bed again. Keeps the farm working 24/7. So now you need to fill this in. But you can't put a block there at the moment because the minecart is hanging over the edge of the hitbox here. So you can't put a block there. Put one there, that's fine. But you can't put one there. To get a block there, just put yourself down a couple of temporary blocks. You're going to need to spawn proof these quickly because, again, you don't want the golem spawning here. If you're quick enough, you can do this without doing the spawn proofing, but it's not easy. And then take out a piston, and you'll need to put a piston just there like that. Put your solid block there. Take out your lever. And you force the block in. And now the block's in place, the zombie's there, and he's doing his job frightening the villagers. So now you've got something that looks like that. So now you're very nearly finished. What you need to do now finally is to name tag your zombie. If you've not already name tagged him, it's probably easier to name tag when he's outside in your minecart. But if you haven't done that, you'll need to name tag him. So just come around to this side of the farm, pop that block out. Give him a name, call him what you like, doesn't matter. Even though he's holding something, he shouldn't despawn. But I'd always name tag him anyway, just it's a belt and braces thing really, just a double security. You really don't want him despawning. If he does, your farm's going to stop working. So if your farm's not working, just double check that you've still got a zombie in there. And then put the block back in again. There you go. So now you've got an iron farm that should produce at least 350 pieces of iron an hour. And it'll work 24/7. So if you've got this far, congratulations, you've built yourself a fantastic little iron farm. It's going to produce, as I mentioned, 350 pieces of iron an hour at least. It's going to work 24/7 as long as the chunk is loaded. If you do leave the area for any reason for longer than 20 minutes and then come back, it's possible that your farm will stop working during the day. That's only because the villagers haven't slept. To restart it again, all you need to do is make it night. Make sure the villagers have got into bed. Each one of them, all three of them, have got to get into bed. At least they don't have to sleep, they just have to get into the bed. But if it's not working during the day, that's probably why. Okay, but if you're around the area, if the chunk's loaded, this will work 24/7. Now I'm going to point it out again, although I did point it out at the beginning of the video and I pointed it out in the comments and in the description. It could even be in the title. This is a Java build. It won't work in Bedrock, it won't work on console. It will only work in Java 1.16.3 and 1.16.4. Okay, please don't ask me if it works in Bedrock. It doesn't work in Bedrock. I'm not even going to answer your comment. If you ask me if it works in Bedrock or console in the comments, I'll ignore you. Okay, because I couldn't have made it any more clear. But anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave it a like. And if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future tutorials. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.